by authors who came earlier and picked data details from people and tried to write books and whatever back on dates, which comes from Swahili. Word means chaka. Chaka for Swahili stands for bushes or forest or stuff like that. Because these Chaga people live in the highlands, which it's greenery forever. It's a really humid long time of the year. It's cooler and so forth. So they were called people from Chaka. But the Germans or other people came to write some books. They changed some of whatever from the pronunciation, accents and things. So we are called the wachaga, but typically it's wachaga if you want to know the translation or what happened, because they are from the bushes or from the green forest land forever. 1,000 meters above sea level and higher, up to 1,800 meters. If you go above 1,800 meters, you'll find a very heavy montane tropical rainforest. Nobody could live there, and now it's taken by the government. It's part of Mount Kilimanjaro National Park, that above 1,800 meters. So around this elevation, you'll find these guys doing cultivation from ages back to be really successful. They cultivate corn, veggies, and stuff like those. They don't do beef farming. If they do grazing and stuff like that, up here it's not ideal. The hoofed animals used to suffer rotten hoof disease because of too much humidity. And it's a bit steeper, the land is not that flat and wide enough to support such practices. So the best for them, they did cultivating, corn, veggies. Beside this, they do keep zero grazed animals. They lock their animals in the house. Go anywhere, you're going to prove it. In the Chaga homes, they have 1 or 2 cows. They never have herds because they keep them zero graze. You have to supply them with fodders, water, and so on. But cleaning the cows, the Chaga used to get the advantage. They get repairing material for the soil, cow manure. So their soil is very healthy organically. Around the year, they could harvest triple harvests a year. On top, chakula kiku for Wachaga, staple food, it's bananas. I'm sure you have seen them all over around. You don't walk 200 meters from your bed to find them, if not from your farm, from your brother, neighbors, and whoever. Eventually, natives up here, they made it staple food, but so far, to our knowledge, it's climatical side, that bananas prefer up here better than the native land for them. As I'm sure you know where bananas originally came from. You know, eh? Southern East of Asia, maybe yes or no? You want to know where they came from originally in this planet? The home for bananas.
Yes, for me, I want to know.
It's Southern East of Asia. And it's actually the oldest fruit that human beings have been cultivating or do whatever with them. It's about 7,000 years plus.
Since when do they arrive to Africa? Do you know that?
It's centuries back, actually. But
and who brought them? Asian people? Or?
Yes, of course. From Southern East of Asia, people who try to trade them to anywhere.
Seda way. The Camino de la Seda. How do you call Seda? Well, later on.
I will finish and then maybe you'll get the answer along the way. Okay. Arabians were the first guys trying to trade or do anything with them from bushes, whatever, and they end up giving them the name that they have today on the table, banana. After they saw them in the bushes, they hang like fingers, the bananas in the bunches. So they call them fingers trees in Arabic, or in their tongue, those days. Earlier, really bananas from bushes, they used to have lots of hard dark spots in them, which were seeds for them, not very good for feeding and so forth. So genetic modifiers or food scientists and people like those, are the ones who change all those hard dark spots from really original bush bananas to these softish, whitish bananas we got on the table nowadays. Arabs call them that way. If you want to know what happened, you take a banana, eliminate A at the end, it sounds banan. Arabic-wise, banan means fingers. It's an old version for fingers. So British came to adapt the word and modify it with A at the end. It sounds banana. If you go with the French, it does almost the same. For French, it's banan, Dutch, the same, Swedish, and so forth. And I'm sure many Different people call them the same. But here is a staple food. If you don't mind, the small up-to-date is now for you, banana-wise. Also, Chaga monogamy, major number, 95% roughly they are monogamy. One husband, one wife, around homestead, they make 4 kids. Unless they are good in bed, they can make 7+. They suffer or they run 0 animal products. Because 1 or 2 cows in the house, you don't cut them 3-5 years. It's almost 0 beef if you have to wait 5 years just for a steak. A cow skin, it was very cold for them, they told us, 17th century miners. They use cow skin for clothing to stay warm up here. Dairy also. And the indigenous Chaga cows were very tiny, not huge like the laboratory cows we have nowadays. So for them to produce very tiny and so on, you don't cut them 3-5 years, you have 0 animal products. So Chaga used to trade or buy these animal products from neighbor tribes. If you talk of neighbor tribe for Chaga, it has to be located from 1,000 meters roughly over sea level and lower. You talk of Moshi Town, it's like 800 meters above sea level, and even much lower surroundings. You find the plains, very wide, flat, hot, long time of the year and so forth. So in the lower land, in such climate, it was best to practice something else, nomadic, call them pastoralism, like Maasai lifestyle. They do very well in the lower land. Huge resources make them polygamy is must. Chaga, monogamy 95%, 5% roughly qualify to polygamy from mono. Normally these, if they are from royal family, from the king blood line, they make them a wife, more than one or whatever. It's the
but never more than 2 husbands.
Pardon?
Never more than 1 husband.
Yes, in African traditional is not that way. In Asians, yes, some of them, a woman can have 18 boys for herself and so forth. The more the better. Here in Africa, normally women, the best woman, they say, always have 1 man. But this man normally, for polygamy, traditional taboo people like Maasai's, a man with 1 wife is stupid, lazy, poor, and all that kind of negative, assuming those days. If you know what I mean, lazy in bed and all that kind of thing. So for them, to prove you're really a man, 1 is not. So it's a big struggle. If you go, you'll find easily. For them, a man like him or a boy like him, if you got like 500 cows, they call him common man, normal man. He can have only 5 wives at one home compound. But if you find those really crazy cultural people, for them, the men, 7,000 cows plus, he can have 20 wives plus or stuff like that, around the same. Yeah, and we went for research and they told us it's not a good deal. We met someone with 95 years old, 17 wives. And he told us the best, you stay monogamy. 1 by 1 will make you happy, smooth moving along the surface to the end of your life. But if you try what they're doing, no. And we told him, what's wrong with you? Because you are 95 years old, you have 17, you're telling me 1 is good? And what's wrong with you? 17 is... He said, no, it's not like you think. Practically, it's a different story. You have to be a very hard worker. Never sweat on bed and so on. If you sweat on bed, that game is not for you. You off. You stay mono is best for you to get going, etc. So for them, the girls are not like you. Monogamy raised, smart. If the battery is lower, you know what to do. Let the man recharge later. You can get better performance and so on. Now for them, if it comes to that critical corner of life, we were told they are frustrated, demanding crazy women. If you know what I mean, if you're a really honesty boy, 1 girl is more than enough hard work for your life. So what about 17 or more and so forth? You have to be crazy, looking hard, tired man all the time or almost like dead. So lower landers, they have too much of that. You find the crowds in the family, you find also herds to get going, but they can't eat their herds daily to live. They can't eat cows daily to live, although they are rich in animal products and stuff like that. So they trade their animal product to Chaga to get grains products to balance their meals or their lives. And the Chaga get that advantage simply. They trade their grains to them to get the animal products that they are running out of here. Cow skin, beef, and so on from the lower landers, and Chaga give them grains, no money between them, swapping or barter trade. But in some point of time, these guys are not that good. 30, 70 years, they have friendly sky, humidity. They have wet and dry seasons every year. So they meet in the market with enough supplies and demand. Some point of time, the sky go or strike really dry, call it exhausted sky. 3, 4 years can go without rain at all or very little rain, which is not enough, especially for lower landers. If they have no rain, no enough rain means no grass, no cows. You can't have cows without grass. Yeah, no cows, depopulation. Yes, 5% of the population is enough to make them desperate, and they go everywhere to kill, steal, does anything to survive. Always Chaga become last option for them to survive. If they work hard, above 1,000 meters, they will be in the green area forever. They can break in the farms and grab things by force and get themselves stronger, ready for midnight rides. They encircle the Chaga houses, 20 or 30 warriors from the lower land, and grab everything from the house. Yes, maize, beans, whatever, cows, goat, and sheep, they will always take them away by force. They have nothing to trade with them. They are dying from no food. And the Chaga got plenty of grains here. It's still greenery. It's humid from montane climate influence and so on. Small number of people, monogamy. There are too many in the lower land. One man with 5 wives plus, it's like a school, just for one person and so forth. Yeah, so they, not only food stuff, we were told also they grab manpower from Chaga. They stole manpower, young males, to make them slaves. But when these young males were 18 plus, they used to rebel. They fight back. They hit slave masters, kill them or whatever. Then the lower landers doesn't like them anymore. They train their warriors, next generations. You can go up there, stolen food and things, but not their boys. So eventually they brought the deformation warfare, and the Chaga dig the caves to hide for that reason. This deformation warfare means they came in, they don't take the males away, they don't kill them. They got war technicians on their side. You call them bush doctors or bush physicians or whatever. If they catch you, put you straight on the ground, they have certain lines to see on the human being neck to tell the age, and normally that is what it is. Yeah, so they went in with this deformation warfare and caught the males. They used to stole them. Now no more stalling them, deform them only. Break their hands, legs, whatever, make them total handicap and keep them in their family areas. Don't kill them, don't take them away. Deform them only. And then they become a perfect psychological weapons against their own families. If you drop them down in the family areas, they will suffer psychological overwhelmed and delay to arrange fight backs and all that kind of stuff. Very easy. Enemies can go in now, stole everything they intended, and anyone they intended. Last attack, they stole female. Food as usual, but female on top. No more males. They are dangerous. When they're 18 plus, they are rebels. They fight back and stuff like that. So females who are stolen here has to be 15 years, mean, max 25. Drag them to the lower land and get abused.
When was this last attack?
This is last attack?
Yeah, the one that
the stuff I'm talking about, well, it's around the 17th century.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
1600s, yeah. Then after deforming the males, they stole girls. 15 years mean, max. In the lower land, they could abuse them to make quick kids. Every year a baby by force, but not with the common men of shape. They use giant males for genetic engineering techniques demand. So they create giant emasculated babies. These giant males actually has to be mostly tallest and massive for genetic engineering techniques. So they create giant emasculated babies. But very sad part of the story, 5 years was max. They terminate all the girls they stole. So they don't teach anything to their kids. If you don't, kids will pick it from their mothers. When they're 5 years plus, they can learn very easy from mama. Who are they, why, and so forth. They will keep it and play around. When they're 18 plus, they are carrying hard work. in the slavery ship, they will fight back badly. So to be safer, they terminate their mothers in 5 years max and get very good number of slaves, young ones, giant emasculated and so on. For Chaga, it was hard story to buy, so they dig the caves for that kind of experience. They were taken across by the neighbor tribes.
So they dig the caves exactly for which was the purpose? To hide people? Or?
The Chaga dig the caves for self-defensing. They learn whenever the weather is shaky, it's drier, the lower lenders will come to rob you, take your food by force, steal your girls to make them machines to produce
so basically they were
slaves
there.
And kill the mothers and good number of...
They were hiding there.
The Chagas?
Yes.
Eventually they dig these caves from riverbank and take the soil into the river running water, 54 years, wash it off to the ocean, no pile for enemies to get a clue. So 54 years, the cave was made, light-proof and soundproof as well. To find any room from one to another, you have to go through tunnels, and these tunnels are not straight made. They are twisted, made, so they act as light-proof. Light will not travel across twisting line easily. Blockage. And sound-wise, when they talk inside, it hit on the twisting angle, they get the echo, mwangwi, unarudi ndani, and not noise all the way to alert enemies, what are you talking inside, where are you, so forth. So this complicates the way for enemies to attack them in the dark tunnels. The enemies came to learn. The Chagas are no longer on the surface. When they came next generations to attack, looking for food stuff and some slaves, the guys are no longer in the house. Midnight raids. Next morning, they used to go pick them in the bushes and farms. If they escape from the house midnight, you don't catch them, wait. Before the sun is up, you go in the bushes, you will find them. Torture them. They will, here's the food, here's the animals, here are the girls. Rob them, take them off, slaves and things. Now, no more. No Chaga on surface, no Chaga in the bushes.
So, a question.
Yeah.
They were living with all the stuff from the houses, food, animals,
They
and
stay
everything.
there as usual. It's only when the weather is very bad for lower landers. They know this on the first, second year. It's drier. Lower landers come with too much demand in the market and less supply. The cows start to shivering and stuff like that. Then Chaga simply knows that. They have elders also, even the other side of Maasai's. Very old men who were there longer, they have certain techniques. If they detect the surface for long enough, they can tell you simply what is going to be next. Very wet than it is now, or is going to be drier than usual and so forth. I'm sure some creatures from the ground, if not the friendly soil bacteria, could be anything diminished or increased, very easy for them to say. So if it's second year, very dry, the lower landers, elders, like prophets or teacher, whatever, tells them it's going to be worse next, then they will push their cows away, sell them in any price. They know next they're going to die themselves or people will not buy them and stuff like that. So that way Chaga press the price lower enough and get all the cows much as they can and smoke the beef and stock it in the caves, dry maize, dry beans, whatever, down in the caves. Worse enough for lower landers, they will come up, start to rob things, rob people, and so on. So Chaga will be down for a few weeks or few months until when the enemies give up.
They have water close and everything, so it's fine.
The Chagas?
Yeah, in the caves, they have the water was closed, huh? You told me?
They have all this accessing, but 40% of the population stay mobile for Chaga. The men of our age and shape here all will be mobile for combat and supply logistics. It's only women, kids, and very old people. They stay permanently down because they are vulnerable. Very easy enemies can catch them, abuse them, or do anything to find what happened, and so they protect them down. So males could supply more than enough. Still, they have war prisoners too. The Maasais who find the way to the tunnels, they can't go because it's dark. Chaga goes in the dark way. It's their traditional thing. They have traditional techniques, they told us, butterfly style, sticking their elbows on the ribs. Both hands and fingertips web the walls of the tunnel so they could go twisting with it, running, and never hit anywhere or hit anyone. They have 3 traditional fighters hiding along the twisting angles. We call them ambushers, in the ambushing chamber. It's a bit wide in area. If you go that way, close to the ambushes, you can't touch the walls. It's a bit wide. You have to stretch, which tells you break. You stop when it's wider and mention code words in darkness. If they are correct code words, the ambushers will reply, let you in and out without see or touch you. If it's incorrect code word, they stop you. They trick you with 3 questions about your family, people down in the caves. If you can answer them correctly, simply they know you are alone or you belong to that family. They will let you in and out without see or touch you. Very hard for enemies to copy the traditional techniques, code words. If they are incorrect, they trick you with some other family concerning connections. If you fail, they have a club. They call it a skull breaker. It goes on your skull, a single hit, you die. They break the skull with the brain on the same hit. Single cry from the victim, no more speech coordination.
Nothing.
Off like a rock. They hide them. Midnight, they put them in the river, off to the ocean in pieces. No trauma for civilian here. Kids, women, old guys, even strong men like him. If this spot soft heart, he's not trained at combat level, they used to suffer trauma if they see the finishing line of the army business, chopping human bodies like fish or chicken, wash them off, grab another one in pieces and off and so on. If you see this kind of stuff, just seconds are enough to destroy your mind or make you sick later. So for Chaga to protect their civilians, traumatization-wise, they do it midnight. And to avoid the detection too. When they are going to the ocean by huge rivers, off, quick. Next mornings, there will never be a clue for enemies. Where are the fellows are gone? Because in the combat grounds, if your guys are disappear, unknowing, simply you will know where are they by remains. If you see bones and things, maybe they were killed, and this is what to tell about. So Chaga Masai know mass graves. In the combat grounds, mass graves are signals or guides to give you what next, what could be, and so forth. Yeah, so Chaga Masai never exists. A small grave or big grave to put a huge number of who were killed in the caves. So 400 Masais could attack the cave, and never one of them dead or alive back. And the Chaga comes back later when the weather is okay and so forth. If Masai try again to catch them, they blow cow horns, huge like plastic trumpet, open both sides with the special cords. Everyone will go quickly back. If you follow them, they catch you. You'll never be seen. Off. That's off forever. Never be seen again, etc. So the Lowerlanders learn they can attack the caves, but never back dead or alive. What they did is to change combat strategies, teaching their warriors. For them, we become a warrior from 15 to 18 years old boys. They used to cut their thing, circumcise them.
Okay.
And girls also, FGM for girls, and so forth.
Very bad.
Yeah, then we are sad, but it's the way we went across to get where we are. Happy to live nowadays. More knowledge and so forth proves it's bad, it's worse, and so on. So at least the government stopped it, but you can't believe some people still sticking it.
Yeah, I know.
You know that, eh? Yeah, it's bad belief. Maybe you know better than she. If you go to other tribes, if the girl doesn't go FGM, the boys doesn't want her.
Yeah.
Those who are stupid boys.
Yeah, she suffers so much, my friend, it's for life.
Pardon?
She suffers so much and it's for life. It's horrible.
If they do that, yeah, so that's, well, and what they're doing now, if you do that, the government will put you in prison. What they're doing now is 2 days old kids.
Eh?
Yeah.
Ay.
Of course, that's what I was told.
Which ones? Girls?
Yeah, they...
No. That's in the mountain.
No,
it's what you are
happening, my
believing.
friend. Many places.
Just go to different tribes
go.
deeper inside.
In the deep.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Musoma. You're living in Tanzania, you know Musoma. Mara.
They do that.
They do
Yeah,
many
now
places.
simply the girls, when they are that age, 15, whatever, they brought them outside, they put some, whatever, maize flour as a signal that they are matured. But that is just political thing. It's getting better, yeah, it's getting better. Yeah, but we were told by some guys from Korea, the best technique, yeah.
With 2 years old, eh?
2 days,
2 days.
old kid.
Oh, my God.
So she cries and nobody knows what took
It's
place.
horrible, my
And they know how to treat it quickly, makes it better and simpler. And if the men find that, those stupid men, they pay 200 cows for that. And those girls who are naturally like flowers built by God, maybe they pay 10 cows, or some of them think they will be not good and so forth. But it's fighting against their own God. They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know.
You know what I mean? Fighting against their own nature. Yeah, if you don't mind, we leave that kind of thing. So the Maasai's, when they are 15 to 18, they go through this kind of course. The boys were taught, if you starve to death, you're next to death, go highlands, grab food and things. But now they're going to disappear off with, and you will never find them. If you go after them, we will never see you. So figure what to do after them, and then get some food for people to live here. Simply, the boys came in a vice versa technique. Maasai normally attack in the driest days. Now they came in the wettest days. Heavy rain season in the peak. Maasai is up, and the Chaga in the caves, and Maasai built hills across the surface to stop water flowing as usual, like bumps, and built sort of a lake and channel the water into the tunnels and make sure it runs in the cave. Wajenga kama mtaro au tuta kuzuia maji yasiende kawaida yote yaende. 3 weeks, heavy fallings, day and night, to make sure they are all drowned to death. Chaga, they see floods in, they start to check the cave if it's broken or leaking. It was not. They follow the flood, they find it's from outside. The enemies were serious, flooding them to death. Singing, motivating themselves, and push lots of water much as they could. So to be safe, the Chaga fighters ran back to the cave system, off to the river bank, and start from the river bank, the link of the cave from river bank flow. They turn the flow much lower enough to serve as a drainer, so to connect the floods to the river, away to the ocean. 3 weeks underground operation. The enemies didn't saw that, and very sorry, Maasai thought everyone was dead from floods in the cave. They went in carelessly after 3 weeks, nobody out, too much water. What do you think? They're all dead, in and never back. Cold, same story, midnight in the river, pieces. Different stuff, different generations. They came with the chemical warfare next. Tobacco, Nicotiana rustica, with the chili. He will tell you better what is this kind of chili I'm talking about. Bushy one, bushy chili. Pili kicha. Kicha, crazy one.
Yeah, the strong one, the little one.
No,
red.
maybe you don't know it. It lives in the bushes here. Nobody used them for domestic purposes. They are too hot, like poison almost.
They used it in tobacco. With
Pili kicha? Yes. He will tell you what happened with that thing.
Nafanya kazi Uganda.
Umeshaingia msituni?
Shasha. Ni kweli kabisa. There is a lot in the bush.
Sharpest
and
thing
my
for the
cook
leather.
told me this one is very,
It's
very
terrible.
Ooh.
Did
And
you
they
test
cook
it?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Simply, if you try, because of your skin color, you will quickly become ready.
Very red.
Yes, and small rivers will run out of your eyes and your nose also, like Santa Claus and the snow falling.
Yes.
Maasai put them together with the tobacco, 20 years stalking, hard days to die, no food, hunted the Chaga, Chaga run in the caves, and Maasai fill up the accessing point of the caves. Chili, tobacco, and fire on it, and wave in the smoke.
Oof.
Smoke them
Very
out.
dangerous.
Yes, few hours they will all get irritated, they will come out unconscious. You pick them for interrogation, get all useful information from them, smash them to death if you want, you access to the goal with the information from them. Few hours they don't come out, don't go in. They can be well prepared or stuff like that. What to do? More smoke, many hours until they are all suffocated to death, of which this was not many hours. 2.5 weeks, it's many days. No chili, no tobacco eventually, no Chaga out of the cave escaping. What do you think? They are all suffocated to death. And very sorry for the Maasai's running in and never back again. Same story. Midnight, the ocean in pieces.
How did they do it? How
The
did
Chaga?
Yeah.
How they survived the chemical attack? They used to sleep on cow skin here, 17th century plus or minus. Cow skin for sleeping.
Yes.
In the house, escape with it in the cave for sleeping. Get smoked or chemical attack, they use sleeping mat to close the corridor, close the tunnels. No smoke in. They have ventilation holes in every room top. Where they live, down in the different rooms or galleries, they got vent holes. Bring circulation every millisecond. Down there, they do what we do here. They hide these vent holes on surface with these special plants, poisonous bushes, which kills animals and bugs here if they are eaten a lot. If the animals eat small amount of this plant, normally they get very sick.